How best to help my girlfriend with her bad car loan. So let's check this out. I'm looking to move out with my girlfriend of 6 years in about 2 months. I'm 23 and she is 22 years old. I currently live at home and she lives in an apartment with a roommate. Considering rent has led to me investigating her financial situation and mine, and I've discovered she has what I think a pretty terrible car loan. 18.5% annual interest. Yeah, that is horrible. You're like pretty darn close to like credit card territory. She owes $13,000. She's paying $400 a month currently, and 200 of that goes straight to interest. Is currently due to be paid off, I think, in 3.5 years, and her pay 17,000 in straight interest over that time. Not only that, but her car, according to Kelly Blue Book, is only worth about $4,000. Whoa, whoa, wait, what? What the hell? How do you owe $13,000 but the car's only worth 4K? Like I'm assuming she must have like rolled like negative equity, like debt on a previous car onto this car, because that is insane. That is super insane. How can you have it? Oh man, this is horrible. This is so horrible. And because she has a loan out, she has to get full coverage insurance. I mean, the thing is, technically, you get full coverage insurance pretty much no matter what in some form. She has no savings, but I have $24,000 in savings. I need a new car and was looking to spend about $14,000. Would it make sense to just pay off her car payment right now? No. Do not pay off her car amount. Unless you want to get like married like right now because you guys have been dating for 6 years, right? I mean, if you put a ring on it and you basically just get married at the courthouse, go ahead and like pay it off if you want to. But your girlfriend, regardless of how long you guys been together, like no, don't do that. Like, that is horrible. Have her pay me back with no interest. Take out a loan to get a 14K car if not considered a cheaper car. Hold on. Let me reread this. So, would it make sense to just pay off her car payment right now? Okay, so pay off her car payment right now. Have her pay me back with no interest. And then take out a loan to get a $14,000 car if not consider a cheaper car. I'm suspecting I could get a better interest rate that way than what she has, and she'd immediately save so much money. Edit, thanks for the information and advice. I really appreciate it. Okay, so here's the thing. Whew. Like, this is a horrible situation, and like in a lot of ways, right? Because there's no reason why she should have a $13,000 debt, like a $13,000 car loan on a car that is only worth 4K, right? So I don't know what is going on behind that. I'm thinking she wrote negative debt, like negative equity into this car that she has right now, which if that's the case, even if she were to sell the car, she's still in the hole, right? Like it's like a really bad situation. But the biggest issue that I have is that you have these two people acting as if they're basically married, or like the guy wants, or this person, whoever it is acting like both of them are pretty much married when they're not. And like you're trying to take care of her like you're married, but you're not. Regardless of how long you guys are together, you guys aren't married, right? There's no legal protections for both of you, right? You could technically pay off her car loan right now and do this whole weird thing, and she could just dip. She could just walk out of your life and you could have literally no recourse. You could try to do like a civil like suit or whatever, but like the reality is she would have nothing tying her down legally in the sense to what like that would basically make her responsible for this whole situation if you were to just pay it off. So the way that I would do it, one, 6 years is a very long time. I would get married in that scenario. Like, I mean, like, why are you not married yet? Like, that seems kind of like crazy to me. Just me personally, right? Again, I'm going to answer it as if it was me. I would just get married at the courthouse. Then I would really investigate the reason why this whole car loan situation is the way it is because it's super sketchy to me. But let's just say it's just a super bad deal, basically dumb tax. I would pay off the loan, keep the car, buy a cheap car for myself if I need it, and then just move on with our lives, right? Like the problem that I have with this is that he wants to do so much. Again, I'm just saying he. I don't know who it is. But this individual, the original poster, the op, right, wants to do so much, but the reality is it literally doesn't make sense for them to do anything in this scenario because they are not married. Like that is the problem. Because they are not married, legally speaking, it would be extremely dumb financially and legally for them to do anything related to finances with their girlfriend. Like that's just the harsh reality of it. And like they obviously care about their girlfriend a lot, but it's just like you also got to protect yourself. Like the whole saying about like in like the turbulence and like airplanes and whatnot, you put on your mask first, then you take care of the person next to you or a loved one, right? Because if you pass out, nothing's going to be good coming out of that scenario, right? Let's see some of these comments. No. The very first word that I see is just no. I mean, it's pretty spot on. She can refinance the loan herself. You should not be paying off her loans or paying her way until or if you guys are married. Agreed, right? Like, this is just the harsh reality of the situation. Like, don't pay for anyone else's crap unless you're married to them or they're like your kids or something. Or like family members that you just love. This, especially at your age, terrible idea. Yeah, just curious. How does one refinance a loan for $13,000 on a car worth 4K? I'm under the assumption she doesn't have many or any other assets. Yeah. Do not help her financially with your money, even though you have been together for is 6 years. Keep your finances separate until you marry, and even then, keep some separate. Her car is a bad deal. You're right. 18.5 interest is terrible. I'd encourage her to refinance, maybe with a credit union, but they're probably not going to do it if the car is actually only worth 4K. Other than that, she needs to pay more to knock out the principal and or work more and or reallocate budget funds. So if KBB says it's worth 4K, then the credit union won't loan 13K on that car. She will have to pay it down at least 8K. Not sure how other banks work, but this is what we call an upside down loan when the loan is higher than the price of the car. Yeah. And like this is like a really, really, really bad situation because like she can't even sell the car to get out of the debt. Like that is a horrible situation to be in. And there's only a few ways that you could really get out of it, right? Which is basically what this person's saying is like the two ways to actually get out of this is pretty much to sell the car for practically nothing, get a loan for the difference at a lower interest rate, and then pay down that loan. So instead of having the $13,000 debt, maybe you'd get that loan to like the 8K, like this person's saying. But the problem that I have with it, hold on, it'd be 9K, not 8K. Crazy. Okay, that was just bad math. But the thing is, you're still stuck with that 9K without a car, right? So in this scenario, it doesn't even make sense to sell the car unless the boyfriend just buys a cheap car that him and the girlfriend can use. And if that's the case, okay, you could kind of do that because that'd probably be better for you guys, where the guy can use it for just point A to point B, and she can use it, right? But she could like sell her car and only have the 9K debt instead of the 13K debt. Like you could do that, but again, you're linking like insurance policies, finances technically with someone that you're not married to. So again, it's not a good idea to do this sort of thing. Like again, for me, I would just get married, I would pay off her loan, and then I would just move on with our lives together, right? Because to me, like being married for 6 years is like, what are you actually like waiting for? Yeah, right? Because it does say 6 years. So I don't know what's, holding you back from getting married. I mean, maybe it's just the ages of these two people. Because I mean, they are pretty young. But it's like, look, if you're not ready to marry her now, after 6 years of being together, you're not going to be like ready later, right? If she's not the one, you got to move on, right? Because like then you're stringing her along. It's just not fair. It's all this whole sort of thing. Like this whole thing is like a mess, really. Let's see. I'm about 15 years older than you. Along the way, I helped three girlfriends with their finances. It turned out every single time that I was not helping but enabling them. Yeah. Okay, so I guess it's the original poster. She's a medical assistant that paid for her schooling, and in return, she signed a contract that says she'll work for them for 3 years. She's got 2 years left. She could break the contract and get a better paying job, but she'll have debt from the schooling. Last year, she worked 5 12-hour shifts. She fell asleep behind the wheel. She is getting a sleep study soon. They think she might have narcolepsy. That would be scary. She also has 4K in student loan debt. I think that's damaged her credit. I believe it's like a 550. Yeah, you're really not going to be able to refinance. I don't know much about finance, so I'm not sure if she's in a position to get a better interest rate. Not sure if giving the car back to the lender is an option, but that's something I'll investigate. Thanks for the help. Don't even bother doing that. They're just going to try to screw you even more. But yeah. So now that I know a little bit more about the situation, it's literally no point to even bother trying to sell this car, like at all. Like literally at all. With that interest rate, it's so bad. It's like at this point, she's just going to have to like maybe do like a side hustle or something and pay it down. Like that's really her option. But like she's in a bad spot if she's got narcolepsy as well because you shouldn't even be driving if you get narcolepsy. Okay, so about a year she's had the car. Her dad's a car buff, so I thought she would have done everything right with his advice. Turns out she didn't ask her dad for any advice and bought the car with her mom. Her mom is not good with finance. She has 4K, I think, in student loan debt, $500 in credit card debt. I checked her expenses. She doesn't spend frivolous. She pays all her bills on time. Well, I mean, technically, no, she doesn't because she's got $500 in credit card debt. Despite being frugal, she somehow made falling into a terrible decision and is stuck with it. Interesting. Break up and look for a better, more responsible girlfriend. I wouldn't do that, but you gotta be like wondering to yourself, like, hey, do I want to marry this person or not? Because again, 6 years of a relationship and you don't know if you want to get married yet? I've worked in finance in the car business for a long time and I can tell you dot 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 never never co-sign with a boyfriend slash girlfriend exclamation point exclamation point exclamation point exclamation point. I've had to deal with so many horror stories where they break up and the one with the car stops making payments, and seen times where one party refuses to sign their name off the title. Most states I've worked in, titles are and not OR. So you can't trade slash sell without both owners signing off, which is also why you don't want to buy a home with someone you're not married to. If you really want to help her and really love her, maybe help her with a down payment on trading out of the vehicle, or you could help her a bit with her monthly payment. Used to pay $100 of my old girlfriend's car payment. She made a lot less than me, though. Now, what he could do, or what this individual could do, right? Not pay necessarily any of her bills in terms of like finances, like the car or anything like that, but maybe just pay for all of the groceries, all of the utilities, all of the rent. So she just is like a stay at home girlfriend, right? You could do something like that where technically you're just, doing your own thing, living your own life in a way in terms of like finances, but she doesn't necessarily have to worry about paying for groceries and all that kind of stuff and use that extra cash to go towards the stuff, right? Because say if she were to just leave, it's not that big of a deal, technically speaking, in terms of finances for you, but you're not tied to it. But yeah, feel free to give your thoughts on this. I just thought this was interesting. This is a horrible, horrible car debt. Like, horrible. If you want to learn how to get a debt, go to 40inbucks.com. Stay tuned for more. Bad. Just get married.